All right, let's get started. Welcome to Monday Yoga. I'm happy to see all of you. The theme for this morning is homecoming, coming home to yourself. Time to step inside of all the busy, inside of all the doing, inside of the scrolling and judging and being judged and arguing and whatever else has been occupying our time. Invitation now to withdraw, really, like being with, WITH, with self, withdraw, to come in here. So the practice I have planned for you this morning is a pretty classical Phoenix Rising yoga therapy practice. And this is what I've been working on for about 4 years now in becoming a yoga therapist. And that's really the whole sum of our work, is helping our students get back into their body, get out of their heads, back into their bodies, and listen to this beautiful, beautiful wisdom, this teacher here. So in this practice, we'll start with some movement, and we'll do a little bit of vigorous movement that gets us kind of in our bodies and fired up. And then we'll go into some postures where we're looking for edge. And I'll describe that as we get there, but this edge is a really fascinating place that holds our attention. So when you're ready to get moving, I'd like you to stand up and just find a comfortable place to stand. You can be on a mat. You don't really even have to be for the moment, but just where there's room around you. And just plant your feet so that you feel secure and stable here on the earth. Shake out your hands. Just do a little shake. Like you've got water on your hands and you want to just wring it off. Shake them out in front of you. These are noisy. I'm going to get rid of those for a minute. Out in front of you, out to the sides. And like shake them vigorously so you can really feel that blood flow down into your fingers. And then just flop your arms down by your sides and just feel that little tingling in your fingers. Yeah. Let's take a deep breath, arms up, stretch as tall as you can. And on the exhale, let your arms drop with a loud ha. Inhale. Ha. Make some noise. Ha. We'll do that 3 more times. Like the weight of the world just dropping down. Ha. Good. And then just put a little bend in your knees. So it's like we're sitting in a chair. We're going to inhale the arms up here. And on the exhale, bend even farther. Sweep your arms behind you and make that ha sound again. So inhale, chair. Exhale, ha. 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 Really exaggerating the breath. The inhale is a really powerful sniff. Ha. It's almost like you can feel your breath flooding your brain. 3 more. Inhale all the way up, reach tall, breathe in. And then exhale, let your arms float down by your sides and pause here in this mountain. Just pause to notice, stirring up some energy. We're going to do a really fun breath that's called monkey breath. So you're going to pull one fist right up by your armpit and bend to the other side. Sniff in, exhale, center, other side, inhale, exhale, center. So it's ha, ha, and really get vigorous with this. You can go a little faster. You can keep it slow if you want, but we really want to stir up some heat. 2 more each side. And again, pause in mountain pose. Just kind of feel that energy, that oxygen. Brain starting to relax and pay attention to what's happening down here. Bring your arms up overhead and imagine holding on to two handles. And on the exhale, we're going to just pull down forcefully. Ha, 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 go as fast as you can. If you're doing Kundalini, you're going to do this for several minutes. We're just doing it for several breaths. 4, 3, 2, 1. Reach high. Pause there. As you exhale, interlace your fingers. Make a steeple grip so the fingers are pointing up toward the sky. And begin to move toward one side. You can choose the side. We're going to take a moment here to explore this first edge. So edge is a place that's not too much, but not too little. It's interesting. It's a place you can stay. So in these postures, if you find that you need to get out and shake it out, you probably chose over the edge. So just back up a little. Once we've explored the edge, then we begin to establish. We find a place we can stay, and we move in. We move into where we feel sensation. And we use our breath to help us embrace, to be with this edge. And to start to notice what's happening here in our bodies. There might be discomfort. I invite you to stay in discomfort as long as it's not pain. I invite you to stay in boredom, in anticipation of what's next. Just be with that. And slowly return to center. And let your arms come down as slowly as you possibly can. And then just notice right side and left side. Notice what's here right now in your body beneath the surface. Breath moving, mind observing. And we'll bring the arms up again, interlace. Plant your feet. And so now you know how we play this edge. So you might start on an easy edge. You might just begin at that first place where you notice something interesting happening. We explore in and out, and then we begin to establish, find a place we can stay. Our breath keeps this edge fluctuating a little, but not a lot. We eventually engage, we move in, take up space here. You might practice with your eyes closed today and imagine seeing what's happening underneath your skin. Muscles and bones and connective tissue, stretching, expanding. What do you notice here? Stay committed to steady breath. Just this right now, just this. And slowly come back to center. Reach tall, deep breath in. Exhale, float your arms down, slow motion. And come back to mountain pose. Right side and left side. Breath and body. Let's float with breath a few times. Inhale the arms high. And exhale, hinge from the hips, forward fold. And we'll do that a few times. You can choose fast or slow, noticing the back body and the front body alternating. Even in this movement, you might look for edges, interesting places to pull your own attention. A fun little playground here for your mind to be entertained with. The next time we inhale, we'll pause up high and then bring your hands down to your body, and we're going to either make fists or you can take flat hands like you're putting hands in your pockets. Firm feet, and then press down on your glutes. Just press down, let your hips float forward a little. We're coming into a standing back bending posture. You can close your eyes now that you see where we're going. Shoulder blades come onto your back. As you breathe here, find the first edge of sensation. Explore this edge. Play. Play here with a little more, a little less, until you find a place that you can stay. Establish. Move in. And once you've moved in, let your mind wander into this body. There might be more than one edge. Edges can be emotional, mental, physical. What's here to be aware of? Does your breath invite you farther? Or does your breath invite you to soften this shape of the body? Be here. Be right here. Nowhere else to be. Just this. And then releasing your hands, coming back to neutral. Bringing your chin down to level. Just let your arms rest at your sides and feel the after effects of that posture. Feel breath. Feel body. Be here in this home beneath your skin. A homecoming. Welcome home. We're going to move into a forward fold, and we'll be here a while. So I'd like to give you choices of how you can best take care of your back. So one option could be, if you have a chair or maybe the sofa nearby, you can bring your hips to a chair, knees wide, and just be here in this forward fold where your hips are supported, and that might feel better for some of your backs. Another option is a standing forward bend. You might just take your knees a little wider and just hang down with soft knees. You can also sit down on the floor in a seated forward fold. So I'd like you to take time right now to find that forward folding position for yourself. And if you have a back injury, anything going on with discs, I'd like you to find a way to support yourself, either with hands on something or hips in a chair. If you're feeling strain in your lower back, you can bend your knees and give yourself something to rest on. So here, exploring edge. As you explore, you might play with straighter legs or more bent legs. That could be a really interesting exploration. You could explore where your hands are, if they're just dangling or touching elbows or pulling on the legs a bit. Begin to establish an edge, a place where you can be. Again, if you are tempted to leave this posture, you might have just pushed it a little too far. Can you soften instead of leaving the pose completely? As you breathe deeply, engage with this shape, engage with what you're finding in your body now. Is it comfort? Is it discomfort? Is it I like this or I dislike this? Can you embrace whatever it is? Be here just like this. Mind and body and breath all dancing together here. As we begin to release this posture, bring your hands to the mat and either come into downward facing dog or child's pose. Maybe even tabletop, just something that feels like a release from where you just were. Pedaling heels if you like, wiggling, moving through cat-cow. Just can you find some movement here that feels like a nice transition and a reset for your body? Staying aware of your breath. Each breath so valuable as a teacher. Each breath a piece of information for you. Let's all find our way into child's pose with the knees wide and the toes close together. If you'd like to use a prop, you could place something under your hips on top of your ankles. That's nice on the knees. You can bring your hands or something under your forehead. And with eyes closed, be here. Be here as muscles begin to relax and gravity begins to take over. Be here as a busy mind gives up its racing and settles here. You might even observe that spinning mind just slowing down here. And explore where breath moves in your body in this posture. Where does breath move? You might notice where breath doesn't move, where there's constriction or tightness. It all gets to be here, so can you just simply notice what is? Take another deep breath here and a long exhale. Spreading fingers wide on your mat, tuck your toes and lift your hips up toward the ceiling in an upside down V. If you'd like, you can float forward and float back, float forward and back. A little bit of a plank pose, building some heat here, moving with breath. Let this be an action that helps you fire up again through that breath. And maybe it's a little movement, maybe it's a big movement. The next time you come forward, lower your left knee to the mat, allowing you to bring the right foot all the way forward. So you'll be in a kneeling lunge with your right foot in front and your left knee on the ground. We'll start to find something interesting here. So explore by just lifting your knee and lowering. Maybe moving around a little bit through the hips. We have lots of options as we start to pay attention to edges here. You can stay low or press your hands to your knee. Maybe even reach arms overhead. What version of lunge brings you to an interesting edge, a place you can stay and pay attention to? Where does breath flow freely for you here? What is tightening and what is releasing here and now? Nothing to fix, to make better, to change. Just here observing some muscles softening and letting go a bit. Just observing the process. Let's bring our hands to the floor if they've come up. Tucking the back toes under, lifting that knee slowly. With the left hand down, let's reach the right arm up, coming into a twist. We're just here for a couple of breaths as a transition. Nice deep breath in and out. Let that arm come back down to the floor, and then the back foot steps up to meet the front foot, knees bent, and again, we're in a forward fold. Maybe ragdoll, but see if you can feel any difference. Left leg, right leg, left hip and right hip. And pressing hands to shins, lift halfway, breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Let's do that a few times. Press to lengthen. One more time. Keeping the left foot where it is, let's step the right foot back, dropping the knee, coming into this lunge position on the second side. You can explore the edge for a moment before you move in. And then choosing hands down or up, reaching. Find a place where you can stay, eyes closed. Slow, deep breaths. Observing, being with what you found here. Whatever that is. What's here beneath the surface that needs your attention? Every one of these postures offers us a lesson about ourselves. What's the lesson here? What's the message? Releasing hands to the floor, tucking the back toes. Let's move into that twist. You're welcome to leave the knee down if you'd like. Arm comes up, open, breath. Beautiful. Release that hand to the earth. Tuck the back toes and step forward. Come back into your forward fold. The knees can be bent. Give your belly something to rest on. Let a long exhale go here. We'll put a bigger bend in our knees. Inhale, arms reach up to chair. Exhale, swing the arms back, airplane. Let the legs straighten, drop your head down. Let's move with breath. Inhale, chair. Exhale, airplane, straighter legs. And as we do this, you're welcome to move fast or slow. You can put in that more fiery, forceful breath. We'll go about 4 more times. And then inhale into chair pose. And this one more time, we're going to find edge here. So weight is in the heels. It's like your hips are resting back into a little stool or a chair. See if you can find that first edge. If you know we're going to be here a while, choose that first edge well. Yeah. And if this strain is too much on your shoulders or your back, bring your hands down in front of your heart or onto your thighs. But point your hips backwards. Point your tailbone backwards like you're sitting in a stool. That's it. Good, Paul. Beautiful. And breathe. Maybe chin is lifted. There's a little bit of kind of a proud posture here. This pose is called fierce posture. And stay here. Stay here and learn the lesson that this posture has to teach you. No one ever got injured in chair pose. It's just hard. Justin, you do this all the time with 250 pounds on your shoulders. You can do it with 0. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and I hope you are letting out a loud sigh as you exhale forward. Beautiful, my friends. With a soft bend in the knees, inhale, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold from the hips. Press to shins, lift halfway. Forward fold, exhale. Let's do that again. Sweep arms high, inhale. Swan dive, forward fold, exhale, gorgeous. Hands to shins, lift halfway. Fold, exhale. Once more, reach high. Dive forward. Hands to shins, press halfway. Exhale, back downward facing dog. And you can choose here. We haven't done this yet today, but if you'd like a vinyasa or 3, go ahead and shift forward into plank pose on your knees or your toes. Drop down into chaturanga, maybe even some yogi push-ups. Looks like everyone's taking advantage of that offer. Beautiful. Awesome. And then from down dog, let's lift the right leg up high. And we're going to bring the right knee to the right wrist. And this is a pose, this pigeon pose isn't very friendly to everyone's knees. So if your knees don't love pigeon, you could come to a seat and make a figure 4 with your top leg. If your knee is comfortable here in pigeon, you're going to start to extend the left leg back and your torso forward. You can rest your head on your hands or a block, a pillow. Choose wisely because we will be here for a few breaths. Let your mind observe gravity, body responding to gravity. Invite your attention to be present here. You might notice that that's challenging. It's a brain wants to be everywhere else, especially when there's discomfort. Practice coming home again and again. John Kabat-Zinn says, 10,000 times the mind wanders, 10,000 times bring it back. Bring it back with a breath and a curiosity about something in your body right now. A noticing, a presence, and awareness. Perhaps an opening, a shift. What do you notice? What do you notice on the inhale? And what do you notice on the exhale? Maybe there's tension in your jaw. You can start to relax your jaw or your face. Maybe your hands are grippy or your toes are crunched under. Where can you lessen the tension? We'll take one more breath in and out here. And on that out breath, start to press hands into the earth. And take your time making the transition that you like. So you could tuck your toes and sweep that leg up with a big shake. You could just come to all fours and maybe a gentle cat-cow to reset your spine. You might lay right down on your belly. What feels like a nice in between action or position? And then when you feel ready, we'll shift that to the second side, left knee to left wrist. Take time to set your knee in its best possible position. The Bhagavad Gita says yoga is skillful action, meaning we're wise about the way we position our bodies. So start to engage here by lowering down, propping yourself up. Set yourself up to be here in your body. John Kabat-Zinn says, if you're not present in this moment, you have abandoned your own life. Come back again and again. Be present. What is at the very center of you right now to be observed? The most important moment of your whole life is happening right now. And we can say that in every single moment, as long as we're here to witness it. Be here now. Relax your forehead, your cheeks, anywhere that the tension starts to take over. Let's take one more deep breath in and out and begin your transition. Tucking your toes and sweeping your leg, shaking things out again. And let's start to find our way into a seated position. You're welcome to sit on a cushion if you'd like. We won't be here long, but as a transition, just make sure you're comfortable. Let's reach the arms up overhead. Take a deep breath in. On the exhale, one hand to the earth. Stretch up and over. Side body length. Deep breath back to center. And switch. Let's do that a couple more times. Just swaying from side to side. Side body length. Coming back to center, find a twist to your right side. So the left hand comes to the right knee, right arm is behind you. Pull the spine nice and tall, and then just take a nice, juicy twist, wringing out the center. Just noticing what happens here in this squeezing, twisting posture. Long exhale. And come back to center, switching. Left arm to right knee. Find your tall spine and then just wring it out. Let your navel hug into your spine fiercely, like you're wringing out a wet cloth. Moving back to the center, hands on the knees. Just do a couple of seated cat-cows to neutralize, reset the spine. Maybe an audible exhale. One more time. And then bring yourself all the way down onto your back. Knees hug into chest. Take a moment here and just wrap your arms around your legs as much as you can and just squeeze. You can bring your head up if you like. Really give yourself a nice tight little squeeze right here. And then hands on the knees. So you can choose to just move around here in this nice little knees to chest, or if you prefer happy baby, take a hold of your feet and pull down, pressing tailbone to the earth. Your breath, really exaggerated, moving breath through your whole body. Audible exhales. And let's bring our knees back together, feet on the earth, pressing into bridge pose. And you can just come up a little, or if you'd like to put your hands or a block under your hips. We'll just take several breaths here, pressing into your feet, lifting your hips, maybe interlacing hands. Find a bridge and breathe. Look around in this pose for an edge, an interesting place to park your attention. Somewhere in your body, a distraction for your busy mind. Can you also bring breath to that same place? Slowly begin to release. Allow the soles of your feet to come together, knees wide. Let one hand come to the belly and one hand to your heart. In this mudra of connection to self. Feel this coming back home. It was when I stopped searching for home within others and lifted the foundations of home within myself. I found there were no roots more intimate than those between a mind and body that have decided to be whole. It was when I stopped searching for home within others and lifted the foundations of home within myself. I found there were no roots more intimate than those between a mind and body that have decided to be whole. Keeping your eyes closed. Slowly release your hands. Allow your knees to come together and roll over slowly and gently to one side. And again, just eyes closed, staying internally aware. And invite you to slowly make your way to a seat. And if you'd like to have something beneath you to sit on, we'll be here for a few minutes, ending our practice in a seated meditation. So it might feel good to just have something beneath you. You're welcome even to be in a chair. When you have found something to sit on, the floor or a cushion or a chair, make your spine tall. Tuck your chin in just a little. Let your eyes close. And put a very small, pleasant smile on the inside of your lips. And start to notice soft, slow breathing. Notice the exact point where breath enters your body. The exact point where breath leaves your body. Observe where breath goes next. Are you aware of breath in your head, in your neck, in your chest, or in your back? Notice the way breath gently lifts shoulders and drops shoulders. Notice the space between breaths, between in and out, between out and in. What is there between your breaths? Can you extend that space out just a bit with no strain, no effort? Just find a little more of that space in between the coming and going of breath. I invite you to bring one of your hands to that soft place over your heart. Two hands if you like. And drop your chin slightly and just pause here in this tender gesture of listening. This heart, this wisdom, this wise teacher. And just see if there's any insight, any emerging wisdom just bubbling to the surface of your awareness. That thing you've been struggling with in life, the answers are right here. The wisdom is right here. The teacher is right here under your hands, waiting for you to slow down and listen. What is the message? And if there is an insight, maybe you're being pointed to where that can help you in your life, what that means in the bigger picture. Let's bring our hands together and just thank this wise body for informing us today. Thank you to each of you for making time for yourself, for coming home, for being here. May you travel safely and gently and tenderly through the rest of this day, being at home in your own skin. Namaste.